It's your girl, Christy Akins, and you have tuned into another episode of Southern Chats. Welcome back, fam. I am so glad you all are back here with me. We have a great episode today. So thank you all for tuning in. I know that some of you all have missed my face. Some of you may know that I started a podcast. Yes. So I'm still here with the YouTube fam. And also I'm trying to branch off and try this new IGTV thing. So if you are normally on IG and you're watching this on IG, welcome. So I'm trying to do different things, trying different platforms, just so you all can have content wherever you spend most of your time. So if you're one of those people that normally like to listen to podcasts, I'm gonna be doing those as well. Of course, this won't be a podcast, but I believe that there's a way that I can extract my video and still stream it to my podcast site. So I'm gonna be looking into that, but I've got some great feedback. So to all of my lovely family, I've gotten some feedback, and one of the things that I got back was that some people really enjoy seeing my face. So I was like, really? Wow. So yeah, got feedback. Some people are like, I like seeing you weekly and things of that nature. So I'm gonna try to marry the two with the podcast and the videos. But like I told you all at the beginning, it just really depends on my week load and what I have going on and my son's schedule, depending on if I'm able to do a video that week or not. But rest assured, whatever I do, the content is gonna be fire. Okay, the content is gonna be real, it's gonna be raw, and it's gonna be relatable. Okay, so as long as I'm giving y'all good content, I don't know how it's gonna come packaged. I don't know if it's gonna come packaged in the podcast or video, but trust me, you will get it. So again, thanks to my family, my friends, all of you all who have given feedback and just still supporting me in this movement. So the next order of business before we get into today's topic, I'm so happy to announce that Capture This, Southern Chats, we got our first Sting Mail. Yay! I am so happy. You all just don't understand, like, when you take the time to, really look into these topics that I'm bringing you, for any of you all that are following me who have podcasts or, have vlogging shows or anything of that nature, it takes time when you come up with certain topics to speak about, and you have to make sure that sometimes some people, they just speak off the dome, they're that good. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I have to jot it down, I have to write it down. And then sometimes, as you all know on my podcast, I'll try to hurry up and do a podcast so I won't forget. But yeah, so it takes a lot to create these things. So for people to actually, watch and follow and be engaged, it means the world, because it shows us that you all are really trying to do the work. You know where you're at in your life, and you may be in a place where you're like, I don't want to be in this place in my life anymore. I want to elevate, or I want to do better. And so watching my YouTube channel or following me on any social media site really means the world. So this particular lady, I have my laptop over here. This particular lady wrote in, and she did not state that she wanted her name to be in the show, so I'm not gonna say her name. But You know who you are, beautiful, and I appreciate you so much for writing in. I appreciate you for allowing yourself to be vulnerable and writing in, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, so I'm going to read you all her email, and she has a question also, and then I'm going to go ahead and answer her question. So her email states, "Hi, I follow you on Instagram and Facebook, and soon Twitter. I listen to your podcast on routine. Thank you. I think I will take into consideration on switching up some of my routines. Good job. I am by myself and I am currently single. I have been for 1 year. But I would like to know your advice on how do I work on myself that could help me better myself in my next relationship. Oh, by the way, I love today's podcast. You got me really thinking on how to switch up my routine." So thank you so much for writing in, and I'm so glad that you're going to switch up your routine. I'm so glad that you are taking the time to actually make the steps in your progress to trying to get different results. That's all, we are all trying to do. We're trying to better ourselves to get different results because we've done the same thing wrong so many times. It's like, let me try something new. So kudos to you for writing in, and kudos to you for thinking about changing up your routine. But your question was, as a single person, what are some things you can do for yourself to better yourself for your next relationship? And for me, I would say, first of all, you need to start loving on yourself. If you have not already, take some time out for you. Take some time to take yourself on a date. Go out to eat by yourself. Go to the movies by yourself. Explore some new things. Take classes. That's just kind of what I stated in my last podcast about routines. Do things for you. And I believe you are a mother, so I'm sure you're doing what you need to do for your child or your children. So take some time for yourself. On the weekend, if you can find yourself a babysitter. Sometimes we think as single moms, we have to find a babysitter just to go hang out with our girls or go on a date or whatever. No, you can get a babysitter to hang out with yourself, get you some me time. I would say, take yourself out, read a book, go out to a bookstore and read a book in public. But start trying to see what are your likes and dislikes. And also understand what your standards are. I don't know how many relationships you've been in, but ask yourself, have my standards been low in my previous relationships? Take a really, really, really good look at your past relationships and see, have I been having my standards very low? And if you can honestly look at your past relationships and say, yeah, my standards really were not high enough, then you know that you really need to, in this season of singleness, figure out what your standards are and stand by those standards when you get into your next relationship. Heal before you deal. Find out, make sure that you don't have any malice or any bitterness going into a new relationship. So make sure that you are fully over your past relationship. Sometimes it's also good to take ownership of the things that you may have done in that past relationship. So if there are things that you can think about and you say, I know I shouldn't have did that. Yeah, I know I was cussing him out all the time, and maybe I need to work on my mouth. Okay, so in this time of singleness, start developing a better language where you don't use foul language all the time. Scale it back so that in your next relationship, you're not talking to your next boyfriend crazy all the time. And I'm just using this as an example. I don't know. But, yeah, so dating yourself, learning to love you. Also, like I said, trying to figure out what your faults were and try to work on those and better yourself. And then I would say find a group that you could be a part of. Like if you go to church regularly, maybe join the women's ministry or something like that. There are apps where you can, there's an app called Meetup, and you can download that app, and they have different groups, business, fitness, whatever. They have all type of groups where you can get inside the group and then find out where they're meeting at and go meet new people. That's pretty much what the app is about, meeting new people. So I would suggest you downloading that app, Meetup, and for anybody else who is in this area as well, download that app, Meetup, and see if there's a women's group where they meet and they talk about being in relationships and they are trying to get back in the swing of things, and just start from there. And I think that you will be well on your way of healing yourself and being a better version of yourself for your next relationship. So thank you again for writing in and sending our first sting mail. Yay! I appreciate it so much. Love you. So we're gonna go ahead and before we move in, I hope that you all see this tea I'm rocking. What? Be Positive tea. So you already know we've been on a positive movement. You already know what Capture This is about, okay? Because even though I do Southern chats, the business is still Capture This. So this is part of the Capture This brand, the Be Positive teas. So if you are interested in getting your tea, which I hope you are, and I know you are, because you're being positive, so you need to be representing being positive, okay? So go to www.capturethis.com and you will see the teas there. I have more designs that are going to be coming out very, very soon. So please keep your eyes peeled for that. And thank you all in advance for your support. So moving along to today's topic. Ooh, y'all. It's going to get real today, okay? So, today we're going to be talking, and I got my notes here. Today we're going to be talking about too many withdrawals, very little deposits. Woo! Let me say that again. Y'all know I have to, forgive my extraness, but y'all know I have to say the title twice because I have to let it sink in. Too many withdrawals, very little deposits. So, you know, randomly just reading a book and listening to motivational videos. Before I even get into this topic, let me put a pin and say this. You have to really, really make sure on what you are feeding, what you're feeding yourself. Not food-wise, but what you're feeding your mind. Because daily I'm trying to read some type of book that's gonna help me, or I am constantly on YouTube listening to motivational speeches or sermons or anything, trying to better educate myself for one, and just trying to constantly pour positive things into my system. Because the more that I pour positive into me, that's what is going to reflect, okay? So if all day you listening, you watching all the Love and Hip Hop, you know, you listening to all this rap music about, I'm about to kill you, I'm finna cut your throat, and then I'm gonna send your head to your mouth. You know, it gets crazy. And I'm not knocking y'all if you listen to rap or whatever, because I do put an ear to it a time or two to see what's going on in the world, but I don't listen to it every day, all day. For the most part, I am feeding myself with sermons and motivational videos, okay? So change up what you feed in your body. Change up what you put into yourself, okay? That really goes with the title today, okay? So getting back to this, too many withdrawals, not very little deposits. I was just listening to some videos and reading a book, and you know, God just put this topic on my heart, and so I just wanted to, you know, share this with you all. Starting off with from a child, as a young child, many of us have started our bank, and our bank is our temple. Our bank, we represent our bank, okay? So many of us start off as a child making withdrawals, and as a child we make these withdrawals, but we don't actually make them. Sometimes there are the adults that are in our life that make these withdrawals from us. So at an early age, we are already being taught how to pull from the withdrawal bank. Do you get what I'm saying? So as a childhood, in your childhood, you sometimes tend to start having withdrawals from your bank, dealing with an absent parent. Many of you grew up in a one-parent household. Some of you, it may have been just your dad. Some of you, it may have been just your mom. Some of you, your grandparent or grandparents raised you, and neither one of your parents was in the picture. So you grew up with the sense of a void. And that, with that void, with that parent not being in the picture for you, that was your first sign of a withdrawal. So that has already been taken out of your bank. Then you have kids who are raised in some form of abuse, whether that be physical, emotional, or mental abuse, where you may have a parent that probably talked down on you all the time, never lifted you up, never said anything positive to you, may have, you know, beat you all the time to the point to where it wasn't a whooping, it was abuse. Some kids dealt with rape or molestation in their childhood, and those things that I just described, those things were withdrawals from your bank. And as a child, if you don't get the proper help, you don't know how to cope with those things. So again, your mind is steady programmed to already just taking withdrawals from your bank, right? Then you have some kids who grew up with a lack, had a lack thereof. Your parents may have never been able to make ends meet, so there was times where you went without food. You had to go to bed hungry. They were lacking, so you did not have proper clothing to go to school in. And so when you're going to school and you're seeing other students who are well dressed for the winter, they have a coat, they're warm, but you don't have a coat. You're still wearing a short sleeve shirt because your parents maybe didn't have money to get you a long sleeve shirt or a jacket or a coat. So you're cold during the winter. You grow up with that. That's another withdrawal from your bank. So again, you're growing up with all withdrawals coming from you. Nothing is being deposited. So then you grow, and then you get in school age. After dealing with all that in your childhood, in school age, you get older, and now you're dealing with bullying because kids are older. So now they're looking at you and they see your lack thereof, and they're talking about you and your shoes that you have that are busted open, that are torn to the side. They're supposed to be white, but they're black. They're talking about you. Withdraw from your bank. Some of you have witnessed and been a part of fighting drugs at an early age, and being in gangs, fighting and all that. I just said fighting, but those things call withdrawals, because when you're being a part of fighting and all that, you're getting kicked out of school, you're getting suspended or maybe even expelled, so now you're not even getting educated. So withdrawal. Some females may have dealt with teen pregnancy, having to become a mom at a very, very young age. Withdrawal. Failing in school, just not even being able to comprehend and understand what's going on, so your grades are lacking and you're repeating grades. Withdrawal. So now I've come up with about seven or eight withdrawals already, and I'm just at school age, not even at adulthood. But I want you all to understand and see the impact that has on us as adults if this is all that we have dealt with from a childhood growing up. And then you move to the adulthood. So you move to the adulthood, and then you may be dealing with issues somewhat like your parents may have had, low income. So now you're grown, and now you're getting jobs because you probably didn't graduate school. Even if you did, you probably didn't go to college. Yay or nay? Some people have beat the odds, but I'm speaking to my people who have had withdrawals all their life and never had any deposits. So you have low income when you're an adult. You're steady getting dead-end jobs. No job that's actually making any real money. No jobs that you can actually see yourself growing in. You know that this job is going to be a year or two max, and then you're going to be on to the next job. Then you see where you constantly are in broken relationships. All the relationships you are in, they are toxic. They have some type of verbal abuse, physical abuse, or mental abuse, and they always end bad. Withdrawal. So from a child growing all the way up to an adult, all you have witnessed were withdrawals in your life. So when you get grown and you start living in the real world, all you are accustomed to is withdrawals. All you know is people taking from. All you know is me going without, me lacking, me struggling. That's all you know. So when it comes to this type of situation, you have to change your whole mindset. And this is where the practice comes of having to clean your slate. Sometimes it's good to look back and see where you've come from and understand, hey, I came from this. I know where I came from, this and that, but I know where I'm going. You have to clean your slate and honestly look at yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, that was my past, but that is not my future. I will not claim that life over my future. My future will be totally different from my past. So what happens is when you have all of these withdrawals coming, you don't even know how to deposit into your bank. So when somebody meets you, they're meeting you and you have a bank that has a negative balance. You are already in the red when you're meeting someone because you haven't even made deposits. But you know where your deposits start? Your deposit starts first with getting that relationship with God. Opening up that Bible and reading your book. Getting in that word and understanding that everything that happens today, it's just a circle. It's a revolving circle. Everything has happened before. Do you hear me? So nothing that has happened in your life is the first time. It's happened to somebody else. And 9 times out of 10, it was probably even worse. So get a relationship. Start that relationship with God. And God will show you that love that you need to start making those deposits within yourself. Once you have that relationship, then you start to understand how you are the bank teller and you make those deposits within yourself first. See, when you're a child and you grow up, it is up to our parents to build our bank, per se. And they put deposits in us. They look at us and they see the things that we cling to and the things that we like and the things that we're good at. And then as a parent, you go and you say, okay, well, I see that she likes dance, so I'm going to put her in dance classes. So you as a parent are putting deposits into your child. You see that your child may have a self-esteem issue. Your child may be a little fluffy. So you build your child up. You tell your child, hey, you look good. You look nice. I know for me, my son, he done grew up. He done shot up. And my son is a little husky. And I know that for my son's birthday is in November. So he is like a grade behind because his birthday is late. So he is bigger than everybody in his class. And I know that sometimes it kind of bothers him that he's always the tallest, the biggest, and stuff like that. And so I am always depositing to my son, letting him know, you handsome, you look good, you're a nice looking young man. But it's my responsibility as his mom to just throw those deposits in there to build him up, because if I never deposit anything into him when he gets grown, he won't have anything. He won't have anything in his bank. He will be walking around here with a negative balance, and that's how a lot of people are walking around here with negative balances, getting into relationships, having kids, and kids are still growing up with nothing in their bank because the parents had nothing in their bank. So it's up to us to take the time to pour into ourselves. And it's, what are you pouring into yourself? Just like I said earlier before I started, about what are you listening to? What are you reading? Are you reading? You know, I had to get to a place to where I'm like, okay, knowledge is not just gonna come up and smack me in my head. I grew up the baby of 3 kids, and I was spoiled. So my parents pretty much did give me everything. So I struggled as an adult, as a young adult, because I was always thinking that everything was just gonna pop up in my front door. If I thought it, I thought that the next day it was gonna happen. And you know, that was just immature thinking. But as I grew older, and now that I am older, I know that knowledge is power, and I know I have to go out and get that knowledge if I want it. So as an adult, if you know that you have been raised and have not had any type of deposits poured into you as a child, in school age, as a teen, a young adult, as a grown adult, you have never had any deposits put in you. You know, at this point, okay, it's time for me to start depositing into myself. And if you have never had any deposits in you, if you are really honest with yourself and you know that nobody has ever truly deposited anything good into your life, I really want you to do an exercise and stand in front of the mirror and just look at yourself raw. If you're a woman, take everything off. If you're a man, just go straight to the mirror and look at yourself and tell yourself, I love you. Just look at yourself, I love you. And then start describing the stuff that you love. Even the stuff that you don't like, tell yourself you love it so that you can learn to love yourself and everything about you. You know, we deal with insecurities, but you have to learn to grow to say, I know, like for me, I know I got Google Maps all over my stomach, okay? I got stretch marks from the rooter to the tutor. I got stretch marks all over. Hello? Stomach is just gone. But I do not like them. I don't like them at all. But as a person who has deposited in themselves, I'm okay with them. I'm okay with them. I'm okay with them. Now, I'm not going to go out and just, expose them to the whole world. No. But I'm comfortable in my own skin. And I'm comfortable enough to know that when God sends me my husband, he will be comfortable with that. It's nothing that I should be ashamed of. And so that's the type of love you have to pour into yourself to start getting comfortable with making deposits in yourself. It's going to be hard at first, but you have to get to that place where you're okay with pouring deposits into yourself. Then, the more you start pouring deposits into yourself, you'll start getting a glow about yourself. And people start looking at you different. And then you will be able to even take a compliment and just sit in it. Because certain times people who have never had deposits placed on them ever, they are the worst people to even give a compliment to. They can't take it because you're not used to anybody depositing anything positive into your life. So when somebody comes up to you and say, oh, somebody had a haircut, you look very nice. And you like, man, no, I don't. Nah, he just did a little something to it, but man, I still look a mess. I still look whatever. You can never take a compliment. And certain times, it's people who had deposits in their life and they still struggle with that too. I used to be there too. I'm like, honey, I would just downplay myself. Even though I felt like I was the bomb.com, when somebody say something, I'd be like, oh, girl, thank you. But this whole thing, Oh, but I had to get to a point where I'm like, I know I'm fine. So when I walk out that door and you tell me that I look good, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And it is just that. But just relish in somebody taking the time to tell you that you look nice. It's going to be hard for the people who have never had deposits. It's going to be hard, but that's why I say you start with you first. You start with you. You start making deposits in yourself, and then it would eventually become easier for you to accept deposits from other people. But when you have been in a place of never getting any type of deposit, you're dangerous. You're considered like a category 5 when you try to get in relationships. Because you're unaware of a lot of the things you say and do, because you're not used to anybody guiding you, sending you down their straight narrow path. So a lot of things that you do may come off a little rough or edged. You may take a lot of things personal when they shouldn't. And so that's why it's best. Look, love is the greatest gift that God gave us. And so that's why it's best to start with the love of God and then the love of loving yourself. And then that way it's okay and you'll be more open to receiving love and giving love. But if you are a person that has had nothing but withdrawals in your life, and you're in a relationship and your relationship is toxic, and you know that you may be a big cause of the toxicity in your relationship, then you need to really consider getting out of that relationship and working on yourself. Working on yourself first before the relationship gets to a point of no return. So, yeah, really do the homework and work on yourself. For those of you who have had nothing but withdrawals, do the homework. Look in the mirror. Start telling yourself everything that you love about yourself. Speak life into yourself. I know for me, I have affirmations on my mirror, and I look at them every morning and I say them to myself. And so if that is something that you that would help you better, write down what you love about yourself. So then that way in the morning, when you go in the morning, you brushing your teeth, you look at what you love about yourself, and then you say them to yourself. I love your beautiful smile. I love those big brown eyes. I love that big watermelon head. I love my big head. Okay, I had to grow into my head because folks used to always, well, folks talk about me now. They be like, girl, your head big. And I be like, I know. But I love my big head. So I'm not at a place where somebody can be like, now you know you got a big head and I'm going to just snap. No. Because I love everything about me. So I'm going to just laugh it off because you're telling the truth. You know, yeah, I do got a big head. And so what? But I love it. Okay? It's one thing to know that you got a flaw, but it's another thing to love that flaw that you got. Hello, somebody? Let's clap on that. Love that flaw you got. Okay? You got a chipped tooth and you can't go to the dentist and get it fixed right now, baby. Love that chipped tooth. I had a gap for I don't know how long now. I did not love my gap while I had it, but I'm sure if I had my gap now, I have to rock it. I have to rock it until I get some more money to close it back up. But yes, in all seriousness, you know, love your flaws, love everything about you, because that's what makes you you. And start depositing into yourself. The best gift that we got is love, and so you have got to start loving on you. And when you start loving on you, everybody else can just see the love that you have. And then you start having this positive energy that people want to be around. And that's a good thing too, because when I tell you, I have made so many connections just by the energy and the vibe alone that I carry. And it's a wonderful thing. So I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. All right. So that's it for this episode on today. I hope that you all got a lot of good things to jot down. I hope that you all were able to receive this. I hope that this message went on wet soil so that it can sit and that we can all grow together. Because that's one thing that I want us to do. As I'm growing, I want you all to grow with me. So again, thank you all for your support. Thank you for sharing, liking, and commenting on any of my platforms. I truly appreciate it. Don't forget to go visit the website to go cop your Be Positive tea. Also, I've updated the website a little bit, so go check out the website, www.capturethis.com, captures with the K. Go check it out, order a shirt. Let me know if you need any life coaching, couples or singles. I am your girl for either one. Self-love is the best love. So, if you would do me a favor, put a comment below. Let me know if you like this episode. And let me know what you like more. Do you like videos more or do you like the podcast more? So I can kind of get like a feel of my audience and what my audience likes. So I'm going to be doing both, but I want to know, you know, where the majority is at. What y'all like. So again, Capture This LLC on all platforms. Please follow, share, send this to a friend that you know that may need this. I love you all. Don't forget to send your sting mail to capturethisllc@gmail.com. Let's keep all that sting mail going. Let's keep all this positive energy going. Be positive. Be happy. Be you. Signing out. Peace. Love y'all. Bye.